live look to the Los Angeles area this morning. Those devastating wildfires continue to burn entire neighborhoods to the ground. As of this morning, there are 6 fires burning. 5 people have died, at least 2,000 homes and other structures destroyed. Over 130,000 people are now under evacuation order. This image gives you a sense of just how massive these fires are. That small dot dwarfed by flames is a helicopter dropping water on the Pacific Palisades fire. And that is just one of the 6 completely out-of-control fires burning in the LA area. California Governor Gavin Newsom says the scope of devastation is simply unbelievable.
I've been in a lot of these fires, a lot, going back to Paradise, and this approximates Paradise. It's not a numeric, it's just a feeling, sense of loss, place, belonging.
And these before and after satellite images show just how complete the devastation is in one neighborhood. This is in Altadena, California. Among those who've lost their homes is Brenda Matta.
This is our retirement. This is our nest egg. This is where we moved in when we got married. This is where our son was born. This was our house, and this was what we worked for. This was what we were going to use to retire. That was our investment.
The images are just simply heartbreaking. Houses burn right down to their foundations. This one in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood reportedly belongs to actors Adam Brody and Leighton Meester. Several other celebrities, including Canadian Eugene Levy, are reported to have lost their homes. About a half-dozen aircraft from BC and Quebec are helping battle the flames. Let's turn now to Scott Hurst. He's following the wildfire situation for us. Scott, if there is one sliver of hope today, it is the fact that the winds have died down a bit. Nonetheless, the fire threat remains. It could go on for days more. What's the latest?
Marcia, the threat remains a significant problem despite, you said, that sliver of hope. And for a region that is no stranger to wildfires, you see the images, you hear from the governor, you hear from residents. This feels different. This looks different because there is so much at stake here, such a heavily populated area. And these winds, they have been causing quite a lot of issues, as you mentioned, died down a little bit, which could give firefighters the chance to potentially get the upper hand on some of these fires so that they don't spread to certain areas. But it's been the notorious Santa Ana winds whipping up to about 160 kilometers an hour, combined with extremely dry conditions. These have really fueled the flames. And so the die down of the winds, the slowdown of the winds could provide a little bit of relief. But then you add the mix of the treacherous and steep terrain in many of these coastal communities and the addition of such a populated area. That is why there's so much devastation, loss of home and buildings as well. And also, as you mentioned, loss of life, at least 5 people at this time. But as we heard from the governor, it could be many more people before this is done because these flames are still out of control. Of the major fires in the region, many of them are still 0% contained. That is according to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, known in the state as CAL FIRE. Also, widespread outages in the region as well. And so, Marcia, quite a significant concern ahead as there are still fires burning in many densely populated areas. The latest flames to break out late last night were closer to the heart of the city and its rich entertainment history in the Hollywood Hills. Fortunately, firefighters were able to make steady progress on that fire, keep those flames in check, still prompting mandatory evacuation order for a wide area of the historic Hollywood Entertainment District. So still quite a lot of concern ahead, Marcia.
Scott, firefighters, about 140,000 of them, some of them working now 48 hours straight without a break. What support is Canada providing?
Yeah, these shifts that these firefighters have to pull are significant because, of course, the threat is ongoing from these flames. We do know already, we can confirm there are crews on the ground and in the air from Quebec and British Columbia. That includes water bombers and helicopters. We're also hearing today from Ontario Premier Doug Ford instructing personnel in Ontario to be ready to go and to instruct crews to make sure that all available resources are necessary for our friends and allies in the U.S. As he says, Ontario is ready to provide additional water bombers. We're also hearing from the federal government that they are in direct contact with FEMA south of the border, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. We're hearing from Emergency Preparedness Minister Harjit Sajjan, saying both he and Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly are in constant contact with their counterparts and also other organizations south of the border. As we know, Marcia, we see these types of natural disasters in both countries, and there's quite a long and rich history of the two countries sharing emergency personnel when it's needed in dire situations like
That's
this.
right, highlighting the relationship between our two countries and how we help each other out. Scott Hurst, thank you for that.